Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of our podcast called Motorcycle Podcast. Now, in this episode, we have skipped the topics that we discuss usually, and we will focus our attention and discuss and tell you about a brand new world champion, Joan Mir. So, let's start the podcast and talk about this fantastic new poster boy of MotoGP racing. Hey, welcome back to our podcast, guys. Now, this is a special episode of our podcast. As we have already told you, we will discuss the newly crowned world champion. Yes, last Sunday to be exact. A new hero, a new poster boy for MotoGP. The fantastic, the Mallorcan-born Joan Mir. A lot of people in the two-wheeler world who enjoy racing may have seen the Spaniard ride the Suzuki X-Star motorbike, but they might be unaware of his accomplishment and about who he is and how he started this fantastic journey which led to the World Championship in 2020. So in this episode, we will begin first with congratulating the brilliant Joan and the Suzuki X-Star team for winning the World Championship and the Constructors' Championship, and then give you a short snapshot of his life, beginning, and the rise in the world of racing. So let's begin with introducing you to your new MotoGP champion, Joan Mir. So first, we're going to look at the champion's profile as he made history with the Suzuki X-Star team. Joan Mir Mariata was born in Mallorca, and he did not have an early start like his rivals. In fact, his beginning in the motorcycle racing came much later through road racing championship. He started to ride his first motorcycle called the Polini when he was 6 years old. Until he was riding the Polini, he got a small gift 1 year later, which was the Honda QR. Now this bike got him interested in the way of riding and the enjoyment of riding a motorbike. Surprisingly, his family didn't have an excessive fervor for bikes, as his father owned a skating shop in Mallorca. So Joan initially grew up seeing skateboard decks all throughout his childhood. So initially, due to the fact his family was not a racing family or did not watch any sort of racing. Now, since he was given the Polini and a year later a Honda QR, he started to somewhat get into motorcycling by riding those bikes in his childhood. So basically, he started riding and he got into motorcycling as a child. So, as the time went on, this passion for racing started to brew within the Mallorcan-born rider when he saw his cousin, Joan Perello, ride a bike. Now, his cousin was a member of the Stop and Go team in the World Championship. Watching him, Joan started getting fascinated by speed and racing. He became an avid admirer of fellow Spaniard tennis champion Rafael Nadal. Now, because of his ability to fight and win matches, Joan got fascinated by the tennis star. Now, he started admiring the guy and started to see what a champion should act like and behave like. Although in racing, there was no particular rider that he looked up to as an inspiration. Like a lot of riders have an inspiration, senior riders, previous champions, where they look at them as an inspirational figures in terms of how they start racing and how did they manage themselves and how did they ride. But Joan did not have any sort of inspirational figure in his life. In an interview, actually said, one of his interviews, He said, like Rossi, I don't look up to anyone. And that was a very famous quote by him in one of the interviews that he said. And it's okay. It's good to have a inspiration. It's not necessary that you need to have an inspiration in the field that you're going in. So his inspiration was his admiration actually was the fellow Spaniard Rafael Nadal, who is a tennis champion. So basically, if we move back on to his life, so his first experience of track racing came about at Chico Lorenzo's school in 2008, in which he was studying, where he raced for a bit as he spent a year in that school and tried out for the school racing team. And after that, he then shifted to the Balearic Motorcycling Federation. Let me get it right. It's Balearic Motorcycling Federation School in 2009, where he got into racing properly. It's a school where he met Daniel Vadillo, who has been an advisor to him till now and has accompanied him every race since then. Daniel, in one of his interviews, said that we saw that he had something different when I saw him racing as a youngster. He saw something different in him and he started to advise him from a young age, and he's still advising him till now and has of course accompanied him in every race since his childhood days. He met Danny in his second high school, where he actually started to take racing seriously. And after that, once the schooling got over, then came the early years of his racing career. Now he started his racing career from the Bankia Cup in the XL 160 category in 2011. The Spaniard won the crown with 2 races left. Of course, in the Bankia Cup, he won the crown pretty early and showcased his talent to everyone in the racing in Spain. And after that, when he won this title, then came the Moto GP Pre-GP 125 Cup. This was his next step towards joining the World Championship. In that cup, Joan did not hold back again, and he secured another title with the MotoGP Pre-GP 125 Cup. This cup was really important for the Spaniard because this is a tournament where the talented youngsters are separated from the bunch. Now, in 2012, Joan saw himself in the Red Bull Rookies Cup. For 2 years, he rode in the Red Bull Rookies Cup, notably in 2013 and the 2014 season, where in the first year, the rider finished 9th in the general standings, and in the second year, he finished runners-up. So basically, again, Red Bull Rookies Cup is a step towards the eventual transfer to the higher level MotoGP Championship. It is a very famous Rookies Cup where talented rookie racers from all across Europe take part and showcase their talent. And of course, the Spanish rider was able to showcase his talent, particularly in the second year, which was 2014, where he finished runner-up and lost out the title. But he managed to showcase his ability in the Rookies Cup, which made everyone notice the Spaniard and his progress. So after 2014, when he showcased his talent to everyone, a turbulent 2015 came, which saw his eventual march towards the championship. In 2015, he saw some challenging circumstances as Joan had prepared for the FIM CEV Championships, but unfortunately was left out as the Leopard Racing team for which he was supposed to ride cancelled the racing project at the last moment. The project got cancelled, the racing team got cancelled, and he was not able to race in the season. Now Joan and his team then went and spoke to the manager, Paco Sanchez. He listened to the young rider and his plea and then helped the youngster to complete the season of CEV Championship with Loda bike in Team Mikado, which helped shape the youngster's career. So in 2015, as his bike was cancelled, he then went and spoke to the manager, and of course he helped out and found another bike for the youngster to race and complete the all-important and turbulent 2015 season. Now when the 2015 season came to an end, Joan was of course on vacation when he received a call back from the Leopard Racing team. Their rider from Japan, Hiroki Ono, got injured and they wanted to replace him with someone new. So they called Joan and they finalized him to replace Japan's Hiroki Ono at the Australian Grand Prix. So for him, a wildcard appearance was there, which was worth its weight in gold, and it was happening and it was on cards, but unfortunately it was a very low-key debut which began fantastically well as Joan started the race from 15th on the grid at Phillip Island, Australia, got off to a very good start, a rocket start, and found himself leading the group of riders. But eventually there were some issues which made him crash out of the race while he was in an impressive 4th position at the start. Now, although the race result was underwhelming, he showed his talent, which made Leopard Racing recognize his achievement and recruit him for the 2016 season. Then, as the 2016-17 season came about, a new champion was blossoming. World Championship officially welcomed Joan Mir in 2016, and he quickly started to prove his worth at the top level of racing. It was the Austrian GP where Joan surprised everyone with a superb race performance, with his first victory and a debut podium in the Moto 3 category. Of course, now 2016, he started to ride for the Moto 3 category, which was the 125cc category earlier. Now this guy immediately had an impact in the Austrian GP with his first victory and a fantastic debut podium in the Moto 3 racing. Of course, he was one of the rookies to look out for in that season, and he eventually finished the championship season in 5th position. He got 3 podiums, 1 pole position, and 2 fastest laps in the course of that season. Now, this was a brilliant performance for the rookie rider who had his first season with the top level of championship. The season turned out to be a perfect warm-up session for the new 2017 calendar, where it was 10 wins, 13 podiums, and a dominant title-winning campaign. He finally won the Moto 3 crown in the second season, and his talent was there for everyone to see, and this was the ideal way to graduate to Moto 2. Now in 2018, he moved on to the Moto 2 level and he participated in the Moto 2 with Team EGO Bark VDS. Joan was competitive from the get-go, with people sensing a podium coming soon early in the season. Now he secured his first Moto2 podium in France and then soon after in Italy. Now, although his Moto2 season began well, his promising start came to an end or came to an halt early because of some issues, and he finished the season in 6th position. Now, although he made a good start and he was not able to finish the season well, his talent and his performance was seen by everyone, and he was recognized as one of the talented youngsters among all the riders which were coming up, as he was given the Rookie of the Year one day before he was selected for the Valencia test as the new star for the returning Suzuki X-Star MotoGP team or the Suzuki factory team. Now 2019 came and he made his debut in the Moto GP Racing Championship, which is of course the highest level of championship. His rookie season saw him adapting quickly to the Suzuki way of working and riding. His introduction to the team was like finding a second family, as per his words in some interview. His first race at Qatar, he secured an impressive 8th place, and he showed everyone that he is capable of a lot more. As the season progressed, he went on to score 9 top 10 finishes when a debilitating mid-season injury saw him miss 2 rounds. Now, Joan then returned to the racing after the 2-week layoff, securing his best result of the season, which was a 5th place finish in Thailand. He backed this up with 2 more 5th place finishes in the last 2 races of the season in Malaysia and Spain, and overall he managed a good rookie season as he was 12th in the championship standing. Now with 2020 season fast approaching, he decided to adjust his racing style to suit the GSX RR's strengths. The youngster was ambitious and he aimed high for the new 2020 season. Now 2020 was the year where he found his place amongst the MotoGP top riders. Now the season started with a very difficult period as the paddock was hit by the sad circumstances of COVID-19 pandemic. Eventually, the season started with a reduced number of races where consistency and focus became as important as ever. As we began the racing season, Joan truly became the most consistent rider among the pack of riders. He secured 7 podiums in 14 races, which gave him the much anticipated title of the 2020 FIM MotoGP World Champion. It is a dream crowning for Joan, who is now a title winner. It was a superb achievement for the team Suzuki X-Star as they won the title for the Constructor Championship, and the Suzuki company overall, as this achievement of Joan winning the crown and the Suzuki winning the Constructor Championship was achieved in the year where Suzuki as a company celebrates their 100th anniversary, and along with the 60th anniversary of Suzuki competing in races. Now with Joan winning the championship and Suzuki winning the team title, Suzuki X-Star winning the team title, a full circle has been completed in 2020 for the entire Suzuki family. So, it was a fantastic year for the newly crowned MotoGP champion. His consistency, his pace, his persistence, and his willingness to be there among the best has rewarded him with the new FIM MotoGP World Champion. As the title race this year was hard fought, tough, and in really bad circumstances of the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as a lot of restrictions, Joan showed how a tough nut rider can dug out amazing, consistent performances in such a topsy-turvy season and eventually come out on top and show everyone that hard work, willingness, desire, consistency persistence pays off eventually. Now, we end this podcast and congratulate Joan Mir for winning the World Championship, and we hope that he continues and carries on with his winning ways in the next 2021 season. Let's hope that Team Suzuki competes with other manufacturers and showcases the talented riders that it has always produced. Now, this was a small snapshot of the life journey of Joan Mir. Now, with this, we end this short podcast where we discuss the new champion's life and his rise to the top. If you like this episode, please share it with other people, comment, like, subscribe, and share this podcast episode and our podcast to everyone that you know. Follow us in social media. We've mentioned our IDs in the description, and keep listening to us in whatever platform that you listen your podcast through. Their podcast is also available in YouTube through our YouTube channel called Motopsychcle TV. You can check out the audio version of the podcast in YouTube as well. Now, hopefully soon we'll bring guests and discuss a lot more racing topics with them, and hopefully we'll be able to show you or make video episodes of our podcast which will be available for everyone in our YouTube channel Motopsychcle TV. So with this, we end our episode. Before we go, we always say this: ride safe, always wear your protective gear, and ride everywhere. Now, it's time for us to leave. See you in the next episode. Till then, we take your leave and say